Have you ever bought something and later wondered, why did I actually choose that? Maybe it was a product, maybe a course, maybe even trusting someone's advice. At that time, it felt like your decision. But what if part of that decision was quietly shaped by how the choice was presented to you? Centuries ago, a political thinker named Niccolo Machiavelli wrote a controversial book called The Prince. He wasn't writing about marketing or business. He was writing about power. How leaders gain it, keep it, and sometimes lose themselves while chasing it. And today, many of those same psychological ideas appear in modern persuasions, selling, and communication. But here's the important part. Understanding this idea isn't about becoming manipulative. It's about learning how influence works so you can recognize it and use it wisely. Because real power is not controlling others. Real power is understanding influences without becoming corrupted by it. Let's explore a few principles that reveal how this works in everyday life. When choices are designed, imagine you walk into a cafe and look at the menu. You see 3 coffees, a small one, a medium one, and a large one that's significantly more expensive. Most people choose the medium, not because someone forced them, but because the middle option feels balanced, safe, reasonable. Psychologists call this anchoring, when the option around a choice subtly guide our perceptions. Now this technique can be used in 2 very different ways. It can help simplify decision for people who feel overwhelmed, or it can quietly push someone toward an option that benefits the seller more than the buyer. The difference isn't in the strategy. The difference is in the intention behind it. And once you start noticing this, you will begin to see how often decisions are structured rather than accidental. Why urgency changes behavior? Think about the last time you saw a message like, only 2 spots left, sale ends tonight, last chance before the price increases. Suddenly something happened inside the mind. The same opportunity that seems optional a moment ago suddenly feels important. This happens because human psychology reacts strongly to potential loss. We fear missing something more than we desire gaining something. But here's where wisdom becomes important. Real urgency exists when time or resources are genuinely limited. But false urgency is when pressure is created simply to rush a decision. One builds trust, the other slowly destroys it. And recognizing the difference protects you from making choice you might later regret. Why imperfections build trust? Many people believe influence comes from appearing flawless, but real life works differently. Imagine 2 people recommending the same product. One says, "This is perfect, it works for everyone." The other says, "This is powerful, but it requires efforts and it may not be for everyone." Who feel more trustworthy? Usually the second person. Because honesty signals confidence, and confidence builds trust. Ironically, a small amount of honesty about limitations often create more credibility than pretending something is perfect. This is the quiet strength of authenticity. The power of perspective. Sometimes the facts don't change, only the way they are presented does. For example, imagine someone tells you a program costs rupees 30,000. Your mind immediately evaluates the number. But if someone says that's about rupees 82 a day for a year of learning, suddenly the perspective shifts. The number is identical, but the meaning feels different. This is called framing. The framing happens everywhere, in advertising, in negotiation, even in everyday conversation. The person who shapes the perspective often shapes how the decision is understood, which is why awareness of framing is so powerful. The strength of calm confidence. Many people believe persuasions require pushing harder, but pressure often creates resistance. Think about a situation where someone insists too strongly that you should do something. Your instinct might have been to step back. But when someone calmly says, "Take your time, think about it," something changes. The conversation feels open. There's no pressure to defend your choice. And strangely, that calm confidence often becomes more persuasive than aggressive selling ever could be. Because people trust those who don't seem desperate. The truth is, influence exists everywhere. In marketing, in leadership, in conversations, even in everyday decision. Some people use this psychological principle without realizing it. Others study them deliberately. But the real lesson is not about manipulation. The real lesson is about awareness, understanding how power and influence work while choosing not to misuse them. Because once you understand this dynamic, you gain something more valuable than control. You gain clarity. Clarity to communicate honestly. Clarity to recognize persuasions when you say it. And clarity to make decisions that truly belongs to you. And in the world filled with subtle influence, that kind of awareness might be the most powerful skills of all.